my phone rang every time a body dropped for the minerals it took to create it. Do I still want to answer it? I've been caught, red-handed, wondering how blood got on my hands. Answers found in the paper trail. Who would have thought my £30 a month bill contributed to a profits over people policy? Income margins marginalising the rising death tolls. Corporations whose cash flows rose from streaming reservoirs, blooded by bodies of our people. But what news have we had? Whispers of mass rape have been heard, but never the reasons why. So I ask, what is the cost of a phone call when the network don't map out how we're connected? The signal's strong when you see the link. Guns are phones child soldiers use to make death calls. 7 million dead.
Awareness of what's happening in the Congo, also to try and raise some more money for the victims in the Congo, the women, the children that are dying every day because of our mobile phones. We've got through the course of the night, you're going to see some video clips of what's happening, and it's £5, okay, for tonight, and all the money goes to the Panzi hotel. Hospital.
The situation in Eastern Congo, many of you would have known about before, many of you are new to it, but it's a situation that definitely can be resolved. But what it requires is public attention, because at the moment the story's not being told. But what I don't, personally anyway, what I don't like to focus on is just a single narrative of war and rape and so on and so on. Although that does exist, it's not just what Congolese people are defined by, right? So this is 500 francs, right? Congolese francs, and it's quite tragic as well, because on the front of it, on the notes, you've got some miners. Take a look, yeah. Look. But give it back, obviously. I ain't trying to lose money here. But that 500 francs, right, is worth about maybe about £1, right? So you can buy a bottle of Coke with that, right? Now, imagine, yeah, to get £1, what you have to do. So you get about, say the average wage is about £6, no, about minimum wage is about £5 an hour, £6 an hour, right? Now, to get £1, you have to work 500 times harder just to get that. It's unfathomable. Imagine the hours that you put in work per week. Now that times 500 just so you can survive. There just isn't enough hours in the day, right? But there was a time in the late 80s, late 70s, early 80s, when one Congolese franc, right, was worth $2. So you could go from Congo to America and splash. But imagine, you can't. It's difficult to conceptualize now that Congo then had that level of economic prosperity. So it's not something that it can't return to.
Banned from church. They're like, Christian, is that true? What the heck did you do? How can it be? OMG. With a name like Christian Gabriel, ironically. See, they got tired of me always speaking out. Because I got the people seeking out the truth for themselves and not depending on the church. They wanted to keep me out. See, the truth is, I got excluded from a place that should be the most inclusive. Christian, you're banned from church? Yeah, I know, it even sounds stupid.
Our will to rip through our skin, because that's where our strength comes from deep within, to carry on being one half of humanity. But this patriarchal policy has enabled you to commit a form of daylight robbery, as my voice and my rights have been stripped from me, leaving me in a state thus unsafe, especially when conflicts erupt between different states, resulting in births, abortions, and a rise in suicide rates, because war is usually followed by rape.
Before I bought my first bra, or loved my body nude, before I experienced the cramps of womanhood, before I got promoted from HB pencil to fountain pen, I was the butter's friend, the liaison for my beautiful associates, the hook me up with your girl though, Gems, because your friend's kind of buff still. Well, I was sidestepped. Never a second glance at me or it had erupt in laughter. I failed art, so I never got drawn. They ripped me. My identity torn, the attack on my femininity caused internal disaster. I accepted I wasn't attractive in the beginning.
Babylon's bricks harder than the flames of hell. And we've been living devilish constructions ever since. After all, Lucifer has a different million names to sell. And he's a cunning businessman. Fitted 3-button suit and a smooth, slick smile. A sparkle in the iris. But hold on, let me figure this out. I exist, not because of him, but because of Isis. The sun sets after it rises. Horus's hour when Seth's violence collides with all that is idle.
Then shed your blood of hatred upon this land, where Zim means Zulu land. Spray seeds of DNA memories to moist the soil where Shaka fell. I say, come over here now, where this Obia man is chanting in distances of near and far. Rise up, Shaka, rise up, Lamumba, and taste the sweet revenge.
I'm in high-class slavery. I mean, where's my thank you for the hard work I put in from 9 to 5? The reason their profits are so high is because I sat here working my ass off for 3 hours overtime. Where's my thank you? They claim that slavery was abolished, but I'm sure it has only evolved. Evolution untold, because instead of whipping us from the back, we got to sign the front page of that contract, right on the dotted line, and then take your place front in line, be at our desk right on time, and they pile on to work.
You know, I was researching and I found that, Congo actually owns 80% of the world's coltan. That's, the coltan that we actually do find in our mobile phones that's used to make our phones operate. And, once it's being smuggled out of Congo, it gets smuggled into, countries like, Rwanda and Uganda, where it's then, taken into the eastern part of the world, like, India, where it's mixed with other minerals, so that you can't really trace the origin of these metals.
My name is Victoria Timanja from Liberation Congolese Women's Group, and our campaign is called It Must Stop. It's about the rapes of women in Congo. We are raising awareness and asking for it to stop. And in a country the size of Western Europe, a war rages that lasted 17 years and cost millions of lives. Militias from the neighboring countries inflict appalling suffering on the civilian population. This is the war in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which has been dismissed as an internal African implosion. In reality, it is a battle for control over natural resources and minerals essential to the functioning of the Western society. This war was triggered by the US and the UK allies, Rwanda and Uganda, when they first invaded Congo in 1996. This is the story of the deadliest war, the story of a trail of blood that leads directly to you, to your remote control, to your mobile phone, to your laptop, to your diamond necklaces and jewelries. For the past 17 years, nearly 10 million people have perished in the Democratic Republic of Congo, half of them women and children. More than 2 million people have been displaced, driven out from their homes, and now living in poorly protected refugee camps in horrible conditions. More or less 1 million women, men and children have been repeatedly and systematically raped and still are, leaving the very soul of our society bleeding.
saying today about us being more mindful of what's going on in the world, what's going on in the Congo, what's going on anywhere. It's hard for us in our daily lives to put ourselves in the shoes of other people. Even if we empathize with those people, we tend to forget. We tend to go about our daily goings on and not really concentrate on what's happening elsewhere.